All right, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out as always. So I got one more pre-recorded game for you guys on the Redline list. Again, our days are numbered on Redline with Jarl here around the corner. Chances are this build is not going to be very viable anymore, depending on how the meta shifts in response. So it'll be interesting to see, but I figured one last hurrah on Redline. Super fun way to play Vincent. Super high ceiling on the list as well. So I had a good time playing it, potentially for the last time until the meta shakes up again. But yeah, so let's take a look. This last game is against an Azalea. So really tough game. And we play, at least with Redline, it's a race. It's a full race. We play Carrion Husk and we're just like hoping that we get our big turns and we can string our big turns together better than Azalea. So it's a really interesting one. Go check out League That Means Nothing. Shout out to Az and Go Again Gaming again. I just signed up for the League That Means Nothing 3. So it'll be really interesting. I had a cool game against Carlotta, who was the previous winner of the League That Means Nothing 1. So this was the League That Means Nothing 2 that I was able to play against Carlotta. And yeah, it was a full race. We were a little bit on a time crunch. We had some technical difficulties. It took us a while to get going, and she had like a work thing. So like we kind of rushed through it, but it's how you play Azalea anyways. Like neither of us are blocking and we're just trying to like get there. I misplayed a couple times, but that's sort of the nature of this game. We are siding in our defensive pieces. So Haunting Rendition plus Haunting Rendition helps to get around the dominate. Not really actually, because we can still only block with the one card from hand. But Haunting Rendition, maybe the damage prevention instead. So it does give us options. So we're going defensive, but still keeping the rabble. Widespread Destruction, I don't know. It can threaten whatever they're putting in Arsenal. Maybe Widespread Destruction is the call here. I think I double check. I have some sideboard like plan guides here that are not up to date. But we definitely go Carrion Husk against Azalea. It's one of the only matchups where we're comfortable doing so. So I'm going to fast forward as they're making some decisions. I'm just double checking my decisions. We already submitted the list, but I was curious. I clicked on the Azalea matchup guide. And it is the same, actually. Whatever I was thinking before, we don't go with Destruction. We're on 57, so just putting in the Haunting Renditions there. So I made the same decision I did in the sideboard guide. But again, those are a little out of date, so I was just curious. So turn 0, not bad. We have some setup ability here. So we have Eloquent Eulogy that we're going to banish. We're going to make a second rune chant on Jack-o'-lantern and maybe try and stuff some stuff in banish. Unfortunately, we hit a Deadwood Dirge off top. So it didn't allow us to like stack our banish zone, unfortunately. But that's okay. We get to sit on this D-React and Arsenal, which is really good against Azalea. In this case, we did now drew into like a suboptimal hand where we don't have a good banished target. So I don't know. Let's see. What would we banish from this hand? Like the Revel in Runeblood this is one of the situations where we have two awkward cards, Revel in Runeblood and Read the Runes. We don't want to see Read the Runes here. In order to get value on Read the Runes right now, we would have to block with our only attack. Creepers, so lose another card to activate Creepers to pay for it. Then Read the Runes to start. So like we get 2 value on our block. So it doesn't make sense to Creepers and the Read the Runes here. Luckily we have the D-React and Arsenal to kind of bail us out. But no matter what, all we're doing on this turn is like, I mean, we can hope to get something off the top with Jack-o'-lantern and try and string something together, but we don't have much going for us here on this turn. And so Azalea is setting up a Sedation shot in Arsenal, activating the Death Dealer, playing a bunch of buffs, 3 buffs, and coming in for a dominated 14. Yet not bad. Not bad. So no matter what this is hitting, what we're deciding on is how much damage do we actually want to prevent here. I'm not giving Husk this early, and even if we do, there's no world where we cover this up. Is there? I guess there is. We would have to give everything. Bloodied Oval, Face Purgatory, Carrion Husk, Spellbound Creepers, and our D-React. I guess we could give a card from hand, so maybe we don't need all of that. But there's a world where we cover this up, but it's too early for that. I'm trying to retain Carrion Husk as long as possible. So I think the decision here is just to give them the D-React. We might as well. And just like eat 10, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So I'm just trying to think about my options. Do I want to get Bloodied Oval value? No. We're going to wait and try and like use Bloodied Oval to soak up or like prevent an on-hit if possible. So we just passed to block here, and we're going to, I have to assume, yeah, play out the reaction. Take 10, go to 29, and hope to push something back. So on our turn, what do we banish? Like the Read the Runes, probably. I think we banish the Read the Runes because we want to play Jack-o'-lantern to try to get something else in our banish zone. But then, like, we would need all of these cards because we need to, like, Creepers in the Read the Runes to get value or something. But no matter what, I think banish Read the Runes, play Jack-o'-lantern, then we'll just have to go Ravenous Revel, and then either Eloquence, or if we hit something else off top on Jack-o'-lantern. I think that's our only line here. So I guess we can follow the yeah, it makes more sense to go Rabble Jack-o'-lantern, right? So if we go Jack-o'-lantern first, I don't know if it matters actually, because we have Revel, so we're making 4 chance after Ravenous Rabble no matter what. So all we're deciding is whether we want the banish now. It can just help us make our decisions more easily, because no matter what with Revel, like, we're not going to be lacking rune chant, so it doesn't matter when the rune chant is created. It's just when do we want to see what's on top. Maybe it would have made more sense to Rabble first, because then we get to see what's on top, and that gives us more information about Jack-o'-lantern, whether we actually want to play it or not. I think that's the call. So I don't know. Do we play? It looks, yeah, we play Jack-o'-lantern first. I don't think that's the play. I think you go Rabble first. So 4 and hopefully 4 go again. We'll see what's on top in a second. But then that's the thing. You see what's on top, so it gives us a better decision point for Jack-o'-lantern, whether we want to play it or not. I mean, we have to play it in order to get Revel out, so it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah, interesting. So we did hit a Funeral Moon from Jack-o'-lantern, which is good. But now we don't know, like, we could hit a yellow with Ravenous Rabble, right? So I think Rabble would have been, get that information. So I think we go Rabble first. But it is what it is. I don't think it's going to change anything, really. So we'll see what we see off top. So we see a Read the Runes on top with a Rabble, so it's still coming in for 4. So 4 and 4, or 5 and 4, I guess, with the extra rune chant on Pumpkin. 5 and 4 go again. Make another 4 chance. Probably the other decision to make here is, do we just get an extra chant on Funeral Moon? Because we don't want to play Funeral Moon at end of turn. Again, Revel is going to break our chance. We can't float chance, which is why I find Revel awkward. But sitting on Funeral Moon, trying to float it to the next turn is not a bad call, which is what we just decided to do. So instead of just getting the extra rune chant here, we're just going to take the 1 Blood Debt and float Funeral Moon to our next turn. Excuse me, because then it could help us unlock our Banish Zone potentially. So we'll see. Plus, Funeral Moon pairs really nicely with that Eloquence that we just made. So, I like that decision. So float the Funeral Moon because it gets around that inertia. It's already in our Banish Zone. So float the Funeral Moon. See if we can get some Eloquence shenanigans. In this case, we drew into Read the Runes, which we were aware of on top. So if we were really smart gamers, we would have played around that, but I'm sure we did not. But in this case, Read the Runes Eloquence is just an extra 3 chance. So Banish Bounding, play Beseech, Shadow Puppetry. So Bounding would be for 8. 8 go again. 8 go again, and then do we Read the Runes at the end of the turn? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what we do here. We either Read the Runes at the beginning of turn with Eloquence just to make a bunch of chance. We'll start the turn on 4. So then we come in for 4 and 8 go again. And then we still get to end the turn on a rune chant. Maybe we Flail. But this is for 10 go again, Dominate. Again, the only way we cover this up is if we give them so 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. So we can give them Face Purgatory, Husk, but I'm trying to float Husk for as long as possible. So this on hit, I don't know if it matters. Like the reload on Bolt and Shot, it's so hard to determine whether it's something you need to play around or not. In this case, we decide to just eat it. No blocking for us. We take the 10 and go to 18. And like another reason we don't want to do Husk here is it's not that big of a swing in tempo. We don't have an amazing turn next turn. So our hope is just to like try and keep life parity. We're only down to 18. They're at 23. They ate a lot of damage last turn as well. So just try and keep things as even as possible. But yeah, they didn't actually take advantage of the Bolt and Shot on hit. So the on hit didn't actually matter there. So I think it was the right decision not to block it. Because now they're activating Death Dealer. Pitching another Bolt and Shot. Activating Azalea. Playing Codex of Frailty. Interesting. I'm not sure where did they reload and then get the Codex from top of deck? I'm confused. I don't know, but this is a no-brainer for us for Codex on our side. I don't actually know what just happened. They activated Death Dealer, pitching Bolt and Shot. Then it says combat chain was resolved, resolving activity, activated ability of Death Dealer, which is just put something in arsenal, is it not? Played Codex of Frailty. That's an action. So did they just activate Death Dealer and not put anything in arsenal? And then I guess that makes sense. So I don't know what just happened, but I'm not an Azalea player. Somebody else can explain it to me. So I decided to get rid of the Read the Runes. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, Read the Runes is 3 value. Beseech is 3 value. But, was that the call? I could have as easily banished the Beseech. Because then we go Shadow Puppetry, Bounding, and then end on Rune Chance. Maybe ending on Rune Chance is more important than just getting, like, raw damage, but maybe not. I don't know. So now they are sending a Sedation Shot our way. We are blocking with Bloodied Oval for some reason. I guess we want that to grab the value from Bloodied Oval while it's online. I'm not really sure the thinking between Bloodied Oval here. We're not looking at Husk at this point. Definitely not. I might undo this because I don't know. No. So we decided to just get value from Bloodied Oval there. That's interesting. I think it's more important to keep Bloodied Oval for when we're trying to like prevent on hits. I think that was wrong. I don't know what the thinking was. Maybe like that. Now that we're under their life total, we're just gonna get value for it now. But value now versus value later, chances are we're gonna be a lower life total anyways. I don't know. I think the idea was just get the value of it for it now, but I don't think that's correct. So, Banish Bounding, play Beseech, give it +3. Then Shadow Puppetry will come in for 8, go again. We had to get rid of our Read, which is unfortunate. So, rather than the Beseech, we could also, just thinking instead, if we if we discarded the Beseech instead of the Read, we would go 5, go again, and then play the Read. Or we Read at the beginning of the turn to make a bunch of Rune Chants. So the split damage, I think maybe Beseech would have been the... should have maybe been the discard target. I think either way, whether we make a bunch of Rune Chants at the beginning of the turn or we end on a bunch of Rune Chants, I think Read is better. The split damage is just better than like big number Bounding, even though they're probably not going to block it either way. So... does it matter? I don't know. They're 3 value, however you split it. But if we're really analyzing that, I think maybe that was wrong. Oh, I know why we blocked with... I know why we blocked with Bloodied Oval. we cannot go to 13. If we go to 13, Carrion Husk breaks at the beginning of our turn. I wasn't paying attention to our life total. So I blocked, they present another 5, which would have brought us to 13 Exacxies. Then we start our turn and Husk breaks. I wanted to float Husk. I'm not ready to, I'm trying to like wait as long as possible to break that. Like, you know, toss that grenade or whatever analogy you want to go with. So I decided to block with Bloodied Oval in order to keep us at 14 so that we could stay, you know, so that Husk can stay alive. Okay, so that makes sense. So the Bloodied Oval play made sense. It's the Read the Runes versus Beseech idea, but again, it wouldn't have mattered. We have a bunch of frailties, so this Ravenous Rabble is only coming in for 2. I think I mistakenly swing Flail here, which comes in for -1. It gets -2. And then I said, you know, oopsies. So again, Talishar. So playing the Funeral Moon out to end on a rune chant, and then moving on. So we're going to take some more damage to Blood Rot here at the end of our turn. Okay, so let's see what we do. Well, we drew into like a suboptimal hand again. So Banish Bounding, it's like the same hand we had before. So Banish Bounding, Shadow Puppetry, Bounding, Rabble. No matter what, we're giving Husk on this turn because we're at 12. So that we're forced into giving Husk. If we don't give Husk this turn, it breaks at the beginning of our next turn. They're figuring stuff out. It wasn't a super obvious line for them, obviously, but they did. They were able to Azalea a Remorseless off top. I don't know if that was a blind Azalea. No, they have cross wrap up. So they're going to make this Remorseless very large, and I'm just like calculating right now. I have this Mobskies, which doesn't do anything in this hand. I mean, I could Mobskies Bounding. Actually, that might have been better. Because Shadow Puppetry gives +1. Mobskies gives an on-hit they can't ignore. Uh-oh. Maybe I should have given up Puppetry. I think Mobskies is actually more valuable than Puppetry in this hand. Because then it's 4. It'll be on my turn 2 and 4. And if they decide to take it, which Azalea loves to do, then it's another 3 and 4. 6, 13. They're at 12. Yeah, I could have presented lethal there. Interesting. So I give Mobskies. I should have maybe given Puppetry here. It's 1 less damage. I think I was just thinking like raw damage output, but the on hit of Mobskies is more important than just giving +1 because it's +3 if Bounding hits. And so it like forces cards out of hand. So I think I misplayed there. So I think Mauve would have been a better target. But anyways, we were able to cover that up. They actually broke Snapdragon Scalers to give Go again. They activate Death Dealer, putting in a Sedation shot. So they're doing a very similar thing as they did last time too. So now they're coming in for 5. And this one, I think we just have to let hit. We have no cards we're really happy or like willing to get rid of. If we get rid of 2, we don't have a turn. So we just have to eat this 5, go to 7, and then move on to our turn where we're going to go Bounding, Puppetry Bounding for 5, go again, Rabble for 4, go again, and then Flail. And no matter what, we're going to take 1 to Carrion Husk at the end of the turn, go to 6. Oh yeah, I was considering breaking Quill Hand here because I'm like this. We're getting towards the end of the turn, end of the game. So like Quill Hand is just becoming like, when is that break in case of an emergency? Can we like deal enough damage to like force cards out of their hand? So I decided to just like, it doesn't matter if we break it now. It just represents 2 damage if I do decide to break it on this turn. So I didn't decide to break it at the beginning of the turn, I don't think. So we're just going to go Shadow Puppetry Bounding. All right, looks like I did decide to... I think I might take this back, though, because I realized that the Shadow Puppetry on hit, if we see something nice off top, like a 2-cost Runegate card, then I need Quill Hand to be able to break it and play it out. That's like a win con. So I think I realized that, and I think I go back. So after swinging the Bounding's coming in for 5, go again, on hit, look at top of deck. So I guess that's one argument for Puppetry over Bounding, is that on hit could, and now I'm looking at my empty arm slot, Oh yeah, those rune chants could actually unlock something that we hit off top. So I undo here real quick. So again, Talishar, we're practicing. I think I revert to the start of the turn because I actually have to go back further. I say sorry. Sorry to opponent, but we want to get this right. It really matters. End game is where it all comes together for Azalea. We're just beating each other up, but this is where we need to think. So now it's for 2 and 5 go again. And if we hit, essentially if they let Bounding hit and we see a 2-cost Rune Gate off top, we essentially win. Because then we banish it and we go 4 go again, and then 2 and 6 go, or 2 and 6. We at least get their hand and then probably sets us up for success. But they do cover this up. So we don't get to see what's on top, unfortunately. Let's keep an eye on, I'm curious. So I think now I'm choosing, like, no matter what, Vexing is still just 2 damage, but in this case, they gave us cards from hand, so they're not doing much. So if we go Vexing, Rabble, that's 6, plus Flail, 7, even if they take it all, they're not dead. So I think I actually decide to keep Vexing to the next turn, because we're not able to close the game out here on this turn since they're giving us cards from hand. If they didn't give us cards from hand, well, it would depend what we see off top, obviously, but yeah, we'll see. So they take 1 from this, and then we're going to present Flail, I think. Just thinking about that. So this is, again, endgame is where, you know, it's pretty important. So we do present Flail, 1 on hit, Rune Chant. We're going to go to 5 at the end of this turn from 1 damage from Flail, 1 from Husk. So a little bit scary, but it still presents them something they need to think about. And they actually decide to give us Cross Wrap. I don't know. End game, I think Azalea's fine giving Cross Wrap. And obviously they have a plan here. I don't know if they already know what's on top. Is there a way for them to know what's on top already? I'm not sure. So, oh, I forgot about the Blood Debt. No, I didn't forget about the Blood Debt. I thought I had Blood Rot Pox for a second, but no. So we go to 5. And I'm glad I kept Vexing Quillhand because we have Deathly Wail in hand here. But we don't really have a way of doing everything. Especially not since they Azalea'd into a red. So how did this happen? Are they like just being really lucky with blind Azaleas? So what do? They play knock. Never mind. It's not a blind. So they knock a red on top. It's such a good card. Then they Azalea the red, and they just present the red in the ledger off of Tunic. That's really good. So 5 dominate. It's gonna hit. We don't have any equipment left. So we just have to give them 3. I think we must give them Funeral Moon. Let's think about this. So we banish Whale. We break Vexing. No, if we banish Whale, we can go Swarming for 3 go again. 1 and 3 go again. We hope they take the 1. Funeral Moon, Vexing. Yeah, there's no world where we... I mean, we have to give them a card, right? If we give them Funeral Moon... If we give them Funeral Moon, there's no way for us to swing the Swarmings. So I think we give Swarming. If we're playing for the win here... yeah, it's a tough decision. But I think we have to give Swarming. We take 2, we go to 3, and we have to just play for the win. I think, because if we want to guarantee getting Whale out, we just banish the Whale, we break Vexing, we come in with Whale. But they're at 9, and we need to do more. Like, that does present 9. It presents lethal. So... Oh, am I just considering... I play the Funeral Moon. Why would I play the Funeral Moon? I don't think this was the play. So my thinking on this now is banish Deathly Wail, make a Rune Chant, swing Swarming for 1 and 3 go again. It's unlikely they'll give us a card for the 1, but I can't know that for sure. But that's like if we're trying to play for the win. Like, the safe play is what I just did. Play out the Funeral Moon because we're not going to be able to get value on it anyways. Well, no, that's not true. I think Funeral Moon makes more sense. I don't think I play Funeral Moon at the end of that turn. Weird. Yeah, I think I misplayed there. Oh. What is happening? What is happening? Because now I decided to play Swarming for 2 and 3 go again. But then there's no world where I play Whale. That was a huge misplay. I don't know what I was thinking there. Whoa. Yeah, huge misplay. I feel like I should have won that game because if I don't play the Funeral Moon at the end of that turn, I don't understand what the purpose of playing the Funeral Moon out was. That was really weird. Not sure what I was thinking there, but hold on to the Funeral Moon, banish Deathly Wail. Your two options are either just banish Deathly Wail, vexing Deathly Wail. I present lethal, 3 and 6, right? Or you hedge your bets and you banish Deathly Wail. I have Funeral Moon and Swarming still in hand. You play out the Swarming for 1 and 3 go again and hope they take at least the 1. Then we can play Funeral Moon at instant speeds, vexing Quill Hand, Whale. So that's 4 and 9. So I think we just win the game. So we just lost the game from a pretty significant misplay because now we're down to 1. I don't know what the thinking was. Because at the very least, you break Vexing. Maybe I forgot maybe I convinced myself that Vexing was already broken. I don't know. But you break Vexing at the very least, play out Deathly Wail, and then Arsenal the Swarming at the worst case scenario if you don't want to risk. But I think like it's that point of the game where we just need to make decisions. Like we need to play to win. We don't need to play to. And then there's a long pause here. I guess they're trying to figure out like this is where it all happens against Azalea. But we just lost the game. They have 13, and there's no world where we have to pay for reduce. So yeah, we threw the game there. We had 2 lines. The one that we had 3 lines. The one that we chose was by far the worst one. So we had 2 other lines that I think would have been much better. Just play Whale, like Vexing Whale, and then Swarming in Arsenal, or better yet, Swarming, and then just assume or hope they take the damage. They have a lot of red, so like pitching for one thing. So yeah, we totally threw that. Interesting. So don't do what I did. Learn from my mistakes. I don't know. Maybe I just like I wasn't seeing Vexing, but the whole point of floating Vexing is to like unstick our hand. The whole reason that we decided not to break it on the previous turn. So interesting. Definitely I make mistakes. That was a glaring one. That was a really significant mistake. But anyways, we're practicing and we're learning from it. So hopefully you guys learned something from that as well. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Get in on the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We're making that final push. We're still quite far from it, but we're around 800 now. So trying to make our way to 1,000. As soon as we hit 1,000, I'm going to draw 2 names from the 1,000 subscriber giveaway announcement to receive a few of my new dice or an altar, mini shadow box altar of your choice. So make sure you get in on that. Thanks so much, as always, for watching. We'll be back soon talking about Jarl and how Jarl has impacted the meta right around the corner. So Redline will be no longer. So this was our last sort of hurrah on Redline. So we need to start thinking about what our next list is going to look like, infusing some blues, maybe leaning harder into the mid-range play style. But some decisions to make. We can still leave it open to aggro as well, so we'll see. But anyways, for now, thanks so much for watching, and we'll chat soon. Cheers.